Federal and state officials are clashing over the fatal shooting of Renee Nicole Good in Minnesota. That's where we're starting the 7 from the Washington Post. I'm Christina Quinn, in for Hannah Jewell. It's Friday, January 9th. Let's get you caught up with today's 7 stories. On Wednesday, an ICE agent shot and killed 37-year-old Renee Nicole Good in Minneapolis, sparking outrage there and across the nation. There have been sharp disagreements between the Trump administration and local and state authorities about what happened. Yesterday, Vice President J.D. Vance defended the ICE agent, saying Good intentionally tried to ram the officer and that he acted in self-defense.
I can believe that her death is a tragedy while also recognizing that it's a tragedy of her own making and a tragedy of the far left who has marshaled an entire movement, a lunatic fringe, against our law enforcement officers.
The Post's video analysis casts doubt on those claims. It shows Good's vehicle did move toward the ICE agent as he stood in front of it, but the agent was able to move out of the way and fire at least 2 of 3 shots from the side of the vehicle as it veered past him. Minnesota officials said yesterday that the Trump administration has blocked local agents from investigating the shooting. The FBI has taken over the case. Meanwhile, there was a separate incident yesterday in Portland, Oregon. Federal Border Patrol agents shot and injured 2 people in what the Department of Homeland Security called a targeted vehicle stop involving a Venezuelan national. President Donald Trump suffered significant Republican defections in Congress. That's number 2. Yesterday, multiple Republicans joined with Democrats in voting against President Trump's interests on high-profile pieces of legislation. First, the Senate advanced a bipartisan war powers resolution, hoping to block the Trump administration from conducting further military action in Venezuela. Later in the day, House Democrats, with help from Republicans, passed a bill to extend expired Enhanced Affordable Care Act subsidies. Here's House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries after the bill was passed yesterday.
The People's House has just delivered a decisive victory for the American people by extending the Affordable Care Act tax credits to prevent tens of millions of Americans from experiencing dramatically increased health insurance premiums.
Prospects for passage in the Senate are unclear. That chamber has already blocked similar attempts to extend the subsidies. Lawmakers voting against their party's president is common in midterm years, particularly for lawmakers who represent swing districts. But the repeated criticisms of the president and the number of lawmakers defecting are unusual. They suggest that Republicans' loyalty to Trump is starting to splinter. Number 3. President Trump plans to make his ballroom addition as tall as the White House itself. Yesterday, the chief architect of Trump's ballroom project spoke in front of a federal review committee, and he revealed a significant change of plans. Shalom Baranis said the plans call for the building to be about 51 feet high on its north side and taller on the south, where the ground slopes down. The main White House mansion reaches 70 feet on the south side, according to the White House Historical Association. Having the ballroom height match the main building is unusual. Architectural norms require additions to be shorter than the main building. Other changes were revealed too. Baranis estimated the project's footprint would be roughly half the size that the administration described since announcing the project in July. Trump supporters are angry about plans for ICE warehouses in their towns. That's number 4. Last month, the Post reported on Trump administration plans to convert warehouses into immigration detention centers in 23 towns and cities. One of them is Social Circle, Georgia. The city learned about the plans from the report in the Post, but has heard nothing from officials. The city is a Republican stronghold 45 miles east of Atlanta. Some Trump supporters don't see the logic in adding a huge ICE facility there. Some Social Circle residents say the city doesn't have the sewer systems or other infrastructure needed to absorb thousands of detainees. These frustrations reflect the confusion and unease in many of the 23 towns and cities where warehouses are planned. Number 5. X puts limits on its Grok AI tool following outrage over sexual images it generated. Earlier this week, Hannah told you about a disturbing trend on Elon Musk's social media platform. X users were telling AI chatbot Grok to digitally undress women and girls in photos. There were high-profile victims like Ashley St. Clair, a conservative influencer who has a 1-year-old son with Musk. Some of the images even appeared to portray children. There was a development overnight as Grok switched off its image creation function for the vast majority of users. Now, only paying subscribers are able to access the image creation feature. The move came after X was threatened with fines and regulatory action. Our colleagues shared science-based tips for a healthier year. That's number 6. Every day, the well-being team at the Washington Post shares science-based advice on ways to promote good health. Whenever you hear health tips on this podcast, that team is the font of expert knowledge that we rely on. But they don't just write about the tips. They also try to put them into practice. And they shared a few that they use in their own lives. There are 7 in total. You can find them all in our newsletter today if you follow the link in our show notes. For now, I'll tell you my 3 favorites. First, eat more kiwis. Those little hairy fruits can boost your gut health. They may also lower triglycerides and cancer risk. Second, do wall push-ups. It's a great start for people who struggle with standard push-ups and will help you build strength. Third, compress your sleep window. If you struggle to sleep through the night, push your bedtime a little later and see if that helps. And at number 7, dogs can rival toddlers when it comes to learning words. In many households with dogs, there's a forbidden 4-letter word. It can't be uttered aloud, only spelled. W-A-L-K. But you might not be fooling your furry friend. A study published yesterday found that some dogs can learn words by overhearing conversations, even when the pets are not directly addressed. That's an ability humans begin to acquire at about 18 months old. In experiments, researchers instructed the dog owners to discuss 2 toys that their dogs had never seen before. The dogs were present for those conversations, but the owners never directly addressed their pets. A day or more later, the owners were guided to place the toys in a different room among other plushies, and then asked their dog to retrieve one. 7 of 10 dogs regularly fetched the correct toy. So be careful what you say around your dog this weekend. They could understand much more than you think. That's the show for this week. The associate producer of The 7 is Taylor White. The staff writers are Jamie Ross, Izan Akabau, and Hannah Jewell. John Taylor is our editor. Additional editing by me, Christina Quinn. Copy editing by Melissa No and Thomas Haliba. Mixing and sound design is by Jim Briggs and Justin Garish. Our theme music is by Edith Mudge. I'm Christina Quinn. Thanks for listening and have a great weekend. Hannah will be back with you on Monday.